Hello and welcome to the Fixit Shed. If you're going to be working under your car, you want to make sure that it's elevated in a safe way because you don't want it falling off of the jack or the jack stands while you're underneath it. That could be deadly. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of ways of how you can elevate your car and work underneath it safely. Please, if you're new to working underneath your car, get some help from somebody that's more experienced. The three most important things when working underneath the car: safety, safety, safety. So these are some tips that I've gathered over the years. If you have anything to add, please feel free to put it in the comment section below. Let's get started. So probably one of the more common ways of elevating your car is using a hydraulic floor jack and jack stands. And please make sure you use the jack stands to support the car if you're going to be getting underneath it. Do not work on the car with just the jack underneath it. Before I show you how this works, let's take a look underneath the car. So as you can see, the pinch weld back here has a couple of notches in it. This area right here is where you're supposed to jack up the car if you have like a scissored jack for an emergency change of a spare tire. So there's one on all four corners in between, right behind the front tires and right in front of the rear tires. So that would be the place that you would want to jack it up. But that's also the place where you would want to put the jack stand. So in order to get the jack stand there, you have to jack it up from someplace else. So if you look back here, this area right here is the cross member connects to the body. So this is a very sturdy spot. So if you wanted to jack it up here, it would support the weight of the car. Now we're looking at the back of the car. And again, you can see the two notches in the pinch weld, where you're going to want to put the jack stands. Or if you're changing a flat tire, that's where you can jack it up with a scissor lift. So there's not too many good spaces back here for the jack. Let's see. So underneath this would probably be a good spot to jack it up, or under here, under where the shock mounts or the spring. Those are usually some good places. They're designed to support the weight of the vehicle. So if you're going to lift it, that's where you want to lift it from. You don't want to try and lift it from this rear axle, because you could deform it, and then you have rear alignment problems. You also want to be very careful with these lines. Those are the lines for the emergency brake cable. So you want to make sure that your jack stays clear of that. This right here is the gas tank. You obviously don't want to try and lift the car from the gas tank, or the muffler. So before you start jacking up the car, you want to make sure that it's going to remain as still as possible while you're jacking it up. If you have an automatic transmission in your vehicle, you're going to want to put it in park and set the emergency brake. I have a manual transmission, so I'm going to want to put this in first gear, and I'm going to pull on the emergency brake. So that's going to give the car as much resistance to rolling as I can. I'm also going to chock the wheels. And now we're going to let it down slowly. And we're going to do the same to the other side. I've put a piece of wood underneath it just to give it a little bit more height so I can get the jack stand underneath it. But we're going to jack it up under the same bolt that we did on the other side. And we're going to let it down very slowly. Now that you have it jacked up, you do want to give it a little bit of a nudge just to make sure everything is settled. You don't want to find out that something's going to shift when you get underneath it, so you give it a push when you're outside first to make sure. I only have 2 jack stands. Ideally, you'd want to have 4, and then you could jack up the front and the rear and have them so that the car is level when you're working on it. So if you have 4 jack stands, you're much better off. So another common way of elevating your car so that you can work underneath it is using ramps like this. So to set these up, you need to stop your car a few feet back from where you want to be working on it, and then you want to place the ramps directly in front of the tires like this. You want to make sure that your wheels are pointed straight. Okay, and then there's no guesswork. So now you can just pull straight up the ramps. So it would be helpful, especially if you're doing this the first time, to have somebody watching you from outside the car so that they can make sure that you don't go up over the end of the ramps. So when you pull up the ramp, you just want to make sure that you go nice and slow. You don't want to go too fast and go up over the top of the ramps. So just take your time. Feel it level off at the top, right there. Okay, and I'm going to leave it in gear, and I'm going to set the emergency brake, do everything I can to make sure that this stays in place. I'm also going to check the wheels when I get out. Okay. And just to make sure that everything's settled, you want to make sure, give it just a little bit of a shove, make sure that nothing's going to settle. You definitely don't want to find out when you're underneath the car that something's going to shift. And when you're going to back down off of the ramps, you just go nice and slow. Again, you don't want to go real fast and have it go slamming down to the ground. And we're off. So I believe the ramps work a little bit better on front-wheel drive cars. There's also been clearance issues, so if you have a low car, getting them onto the ramps is going to be difficult. So I've also seen with rear-wheel drive vehicles, they actually just kind of push the ramp forward. So you need power on the front wheels to kind of put them up. Or the floor underneath the ramps needs to be a rough surface so that the ramps don't slide. So if you happen to have a vehicle with a big old chrome bumper, you could use a bumper jack like this to lift it as well. So one thing that you're definitely going to want to do, this vehicle is currently in two-wheel drive mode, so the transmission is attached to the rear wheels and the emergency brake is on, so that is also attached to the rear wheels, which means that the front wheels, there's no resistance to movement on them at all. So you're definitely going to want to chock the front wheels before you lift with the bumper like this. Yep, we're up off the ground. So, and then you would put jack stands underneath if you wanted to work underneath it. And then just let it down slowly. Okay, so that's it for this episode of the Fixit Shed. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Take care.